I recently had the great pleasure of working with the management team at Mountain Air Country Club. And one of the things that I was brought in there for was to improve communication, to increase employee morale, and to strengthen the bond between the management team. And these are typical things that we see in different organizations. But instead of taking the typical approach of starting from here's the problem or here's the perceived issue, and let's jump right into the tactical about how we can solve this and address this, Andy and I had decided that the best approach would be to put them in a place where they had to take ownership from the beginning. So day one, one of the big things that we did on day one was everybody had a blank journal. And what I asked them to do, I asked them to first, before considering the management team or considering Mountain Air, I felt that the important thing was we have to understand that there are multiple parts to us as individuals, just as there are multiple parts to an organization or corporation. So before we can start to address all the different parts within an organization, we have to first understand how those things have to work in conjunction with each other. So many of these improved communication, or here's the tactical side of making sure that we work better as a team, or team building, are really dealing with things that are on the surface level. With an organization like Mountain Air, the thing that was very clear is that this team, they got along well. They worked well together. Not every team's perfect, but that there was something deeper that needed to be touched upon so that that can continue to grow and enhance membership experience, and also to enhance their attractability as an organization to bring in top talent. So the first thing that we did, and the idea behind this was to break apart the different departments, if you will, within their own lives. So I had them draw something very similar to this, a very crude drawing, but it got the point across. Is here they are, just like an organization, and they have multiple parts that make up who they are. And so what I asked them to do, I asked them to then define these things, So if it's a husband, father, for me, musician, entrepreneur, business owner, things like this, I said, I want you to go ahead and compartmentalize who you are. Define those things very briefly. And so we all did that. The next thing that I asked them to do was to then open up their journals, and I wanted them to use their imagination. I wanted them to think 10 years down the road, and we're going to look back. So we put ourselves in the year 2023, and we just simply stepped back, and I said, I want you to tell me and write these things out bullet by bullet in each different department, what you felt was most impactful, what was most memorable. What are the accomplishments that you or the achievements that you had that you were most proud of in each department of your life. So the first part of the day was about discovery. Before we can really set goals or improve communication or do any of those types of things, we have to first uncover what it is that we truly want, which, by the way, most of us don't really know what that is. So this was a step in doing that. So after we did that, I asked them to go home, take their journals with them, and I wanted them to write a narrative. I wanted them to combine all these things and write it into a story form, to uncover, tell us the story about what you're most proud of and write it together as a whole. And the next day we came back and everybody read their stories. And it was, for me, a huge privilege to be a part of that, and just to hear the things and the aspirations that the different team members were uncovering about themselves. But one of the most impactful things that I saw there is that they were sharing these dreams and aspirations that they were discovering for the first time with each other. And so inadvertently, this created an incredible bond between each of the team members, because now they are not only owning things that they didn't even know that they wanted, but they are doing it in a way that they're discovering this along with their peers, along with their management team. So after doing that, we basically took the same concept from day one and we started to expand it into the management team. And so I asked them, I said, I want you all to take, I think it was 15, 20 minutes, and I want you to do what you did last night and separate, and I want you to write down in each different department of Mountain Air the things that you remember most, especially in the departments that you were not a part of. It was incredible to see the memories that they were having and some of the innovations, and I kid you not, there were actual innovative ideas that came out of this that were absolutely incredible. So that process allowed them to then take ownership in the success of each other's departments, because they were seeing that the importance of all those things together is what's going to make Mountain Air move forward and just continue to grow as an outstanding organization. So in a nutshell, that's an overview of what we did. We simply I simply asked them to go to the future and look back. As crazy as that might sound. But they were able to uncover aspirations they didn't even know they had, both as individuals and as a team. And from that point there, they were able to start understanding each other and communicating with each other. And all of them shared with me that they just had an increased level of respect for their coworkers, both professionally and personally. And to me, that was the greatest reward of being able to be a part of, being able to be a part of that experience. It was incredible.